Wow, wow, wow. This next person is actually my hero and the one that I love more than anyone else in this entire room, my wonderful, amazing wife, Oneka. Come on up here, beautiful.
Y'all today. I first of all want to honor our beautiful pastors, Pastor Rob and Laura Cope, who have believed in Earl and I and poured into us for the almost 20 years, which is crazy. And I want to honor all of y'all, all the leaders in this room who have taken time to tell Earl and I'm going to water your seed. I believe in you. I see something in you. I'm committed to seeing your dreams come true. Many of the leaders in this room have sown into our church. We were launched from Shoreline Austin to plant Shoreline Dallas. And many of you in this room have helped make that happen. And so I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, today I'm going to be talking to us about flourishing. I just had a birthday. I turned 29, wink, wink, not really. And every time I get ready, 42, just keeping it real, 42. But every time I have a birthday, I pray and I ask God, what do you want to speak to my heart in this new season in my life? And the word that just kept coming to my spirit was flourish, flourish, flourish. And I felt like God was saying, not only are you going to flourish, but everyone around you is going to flourish. And that I believe by the Spirit of God that this is a season for us all to flourish. Flourish means to break forth. Who's ready to break forth? It also means to bloom. And some of us today are ready to step into that season to break forth. We are ready to bloom. And others of us barely made it to this conference. But I just want to tell you that this word is for you today. That God has called you for such a time as this. And you will bloom and you will break forth. It says in Psalm 92:12, this is all of us. But the godly will flourish like palm trees and grow strong like cedars of Lebanon. For they are transplanted to the Lord's house, and they will flourish in the courts of our God. And when I saw that, I thought, I'm going to start studying about the palm tree. And I'm going to tell you 3 amazing things about the palm tree, and I'm going to talk about just 2 because I don't have enough time. 3 things about palm trees are, they bend, but they don't break.
Yeah, that's right.
Another thing about a palm tree is their roots grow deep. Another thing about a palm tree is they flourish in the desert. Just think about that for a second. Palm trees have survived so many different storms. They're all around here to remind us. Some of them are bent, but it shows you don't focus on that they're bending, you focus on that they're still standing. And many of us have gone through so many different storms and hurricanes, but we're still standing. We're still here. We may be a little bent, but we're still standing. We're not broken. You may feel a little bent. Your marriage may feel a little bent, but it's still planted. It's still flourishing. And so I just want to encourage you this morning that you may be bent. You may have had to stretch, but you're not broken. And I remember when Earl and I first started this church about 3 years ago, we went from a high of being a part of an amazing team in Austin to launched out into the deep. And we've had our highs, we've had our lows. We've been through the storm, we've been through the desert. And I remember I was meeting with some of the women of our church, and it was our sisterhood gathering. I remember sharing with them, I said, this has been the most amazing journey, but it's also been the hardest journey. Now we're 3 years in, and amazing things are happening. But at the beginning, you're just stepping out by faith. And so during that time when we first launched the church, crazy stuff happened. My mom just wigged out. God bless her, I love her, but she just did go off the deep end. Just every fiery, just keeping it real, every fiery dart that could come our way, came our way. And it got pretty intense that literally I started losing hair. And for a sister, that is a big deal. This is all 100% real grade A hair. I didn't buy it, I was born with it. So anyways, all of a sudden my hairstylist was doing my hair and she said, Oneka, I see a bald spot. And I just said, I don't want to see it. Because I got to be a mom, I have to be a wife, we're planning this church, I don't want to be distracted. So I had Earl take a picture of it, but I still to this day have not seen it. I say all that to say, during the sisterhood, I showed my women my bald spot. And I said, I'm bending y'all, but I'm not going to break. Yeah. We're in this together. God's called us, we will live and not die and declare the words of the Lord. And so I just want to, and my hair is grown back now. The bald spot is gone. And so I just want y'all to know, we may bend, but we're not going to break. Another thing about flourishing is you can flourish in the desert. You can flourish flourish in the darkest times of your life. It says here in Numbers 3:4, the Lord spoke to Moses in the desert. Don't run from your desert. Know that God can speak to you. You can have divine appointments, divine moments in the darkest time. You can flourish just like the palm tree. They're in the desert, but they still flourish. They're still standing because their roots grow deep. And so I just want to speak to anyone who's going through a dark time. Anyone who's going through a desert, know that your greatest days are ahead. Know that God can bring manna from heaven, can provide the word in a due season that's going to be the game changer for you. So I just want to encourage you that if your marriage is in the desert, it can still flourish. If your life is in the desert, new things can bloom forth, can break forth, and it can be a testimony to others, and then you will be that tree that's planted that other people can sit under for shade. It says here in Isaiah 35, and I'm going to end with this. Energize those limp hands. So if anyone needs to be energized this morning, God is saying, I want to energize your limp hands. I'm going to strengthen those rubbery knees. Tell fearful souls today, courage, take heart. God is here. He is right here on his way to put things right, readdress all wrongs. He's on his way. He will save you. Blind eyes will be opened. Whatever areas you feel blind in that you need wisdom, they will be opened. Deaf ears unstopped. I love that. Lame men and women will leap like a deer. The voiceless will break into song. Springs of water will burst out in the wilderness. Streams will flow into your desert. Hot sands will become a cool oasis. Thirsty ground, a splashing fountain. And barren grasslands will flourish richly. I pray that whatever is barren in your life will flourish. I pray that rivers of living water will flow on every thirsty, dry, chapped, ashy area. And rivers of living water will flow out of you like never before. Thank you.
I love her. My best friend. Way to go, honey. Way to go. God. You guys almost didn't get past that she said she's 42, right? I heard you go, what? Black don't crack. See? One of my